Hello, and welcome back to Speak English Daily.
Hi everyone, we are very happy to see you here today.
Today, we're going to talk about something that most English learners don't admit out loud. You're not struggling with grammar, you're not struggling with vocabulary, you're struggling with fear. And that fear is quietly controlling you every time you open your mouth. I want to start with a simple question, Mike. When was the last time you wanted to speak English but decided to stay silent?
Yesterday, in class, the teacher asked a question and I knew the answer. I knew it. But my heart started beating fast. I thought, what if I say it wrong? What if everyone looks at me? So I just looked down at my notebook and pretended I was writing something.
That's honest, and that's painful. What were you really afraid of in that moment?
I was afraid of sounding stupid. I was afraid people would notice my accent. I was afraid I would forget a word in the middle of the sentence and just freeze. I didn't want that silence where everyone is waiting for me.
That silence feels heavy, doesn't it? It feels like everyone is judging you. But let me challenge that thought. Do you really believe everyone in that room was confident and perfect?
No, probably not. But it feels like they are. When you're the one speaking, it feels like a spotlight is on you.
That spotlight is something we imagine. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people are not thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. They're worried about their own mistakes, their own image, their own fear. But your mind tells you a different story. It tells you that you are being watched and evaluated.
So you're saying it's all in my head?
I'm saying the fear is real, but the story behind it is often false. Let me ask you something deeper. When you stay silent, how do you feel after?
Small. Disappointed. I feel like I failed myself. I tell myself, I'll speak next time. But then next time comes and I do the same thing again.
That's the cycle. Fear, silence, regret. And every time you repeat it, your brain learns something dangerous. It learns that silence is safe, and safety becomes your prison. You start believing you are not a good speaker. You start saying, I'm just shy. But maybe you're not shy. Maybe you're just protecting yourself.
Protecting myself from embarrassment.
Yes, but here's the bold question. Is that protection helping you grow?
No, it's stopping me. I know it is. I've been learning English for years. I understand a lot. I can read, I can listen, but when it's time to speak, I feel like a beginner again.
That feeling is not because you don't know English. It's because you haven't trained courage. We spend hours learning vocabulary. We practice grammar exercises. But no one teaches us how to handle the moment when our voice shakes.
So what do I do with that shaking voice?
You let it shake. You speak anyway. Confidence does not come first. Action comes first. The first time you speak with fear, your voice may be weak. The second time, still nervous. The third time, a little stronger. But if you wait to feel confident before you speak, you will wait forever.
That's uncomfortable to hear.
Growth is uncomfortable. Let me ask you one more thing. Imagine 5 years from now. If you continue staying silent, what will change?
Nothing. I'll still understand English, but I won't be able to live in it. I won't be able to use it freely.
And imagine the opposite. Imagine you decide that embarrassment is not dangerous. Imagine you accept mistakes as part of your identity as a learner. What could change then?
Maybe I would finally feel free. Maybe I would stop caring so much about being perfect. Maybe I would just speak.
That's the beginning. Speaking without fear doesn't mean you're never scared. It means you decide that your voice matters more than your fear.
I don't want to stay silent anymore.
Good. Then let's go deeper. I want you to remember a specific moment when you felt embarrassed speaking English. Not a small mistake, a moment that still makes your stomach tight when you think about it. Can you remember one?
Yes, I was at a cafe. A tourist asked me for directions in English. I understood him, but when I tried to answer, I mixed up left and right. He looked confused. I tried to correct myself, but my sentences were broken. After that, I just said sorry and walked away.
And what did you tell yourself after that?
I told myself I'm not ready. I told myself I should practice more before speaking to strangers. I felt ashamed.
Let's slow that down. You understood him. That means your listening skills worked. You tried to respond. That means you were brave enough to try. You made a mistake with directions. That means you are human. So why does your brain turn that into a failure story?
Because it felt bad. The confusion on his face made me feel incompetent.
That word is heavy, incompetent. But making a mistake in a second language is not incompetence. It's evidence that you are learning in public. And learning in public feels vulnerable.
I hate that feeling. When I speak my native language, I feel intelligent. In English, I feel smaller.
That difference is important. When you speak your native language, your personality is full. Your humor, your opinions, your emotions. In English, you feel limited. So it feels like people are judging a weaker version of you.
Yes, that's it. I don't sound like myself.
And that creates fear. Not just fear of mistakes, fear of losing your identity. But here's something powerful. The more you speak, the more your real personality begins to show in English too. It doesn't happen while you are silent. It happens while you struggle.
But what if people laugh?
Let's talk about that directly. What if they do laugh?
Then I would feel humiliated.
For how long?
Maybe a few minutes, maybe a few hours. I don't know.
Would it destroy your life?
No.
Would it stop you from improving?
Only if I let it.
That's the key. Embarrassment is temporary. Silence can become permanent. You're choosing between short discomfort and long regret.
When you say it like that, it sounds obvious. But in the moment, it doesn't feel obvious.
In the moment, your body reacts before your logic. Your heart beats faster, your hands feel cold, your mind goes blank. That's not weakness, that's a stress response. Your brain thinks you're in danger.
But I'm not in danger.
Correct. No one is attacking you, no one is threatening you. You are just speaking a language. But your brain doesn't always understand that difference, so we need to retrain it.
How?
By proving to it that speaking is safe. And the only way to prove that is by speaking again after a mistake, not by avoiding it.
So you're saying I should go back into uncomfortable situations on purpose?
Yes, not extreme ones, small ones. Order food in English. Ask a simple question. Join a short conversation. Let your brain experience fear and survive it.
Survive it.
That word matters because every time you speak and nothing terrible happens, your brain learns something new. It learns that embarrassment is not fatal. It learns that confusion can be fixed. It learns that mistakes do not equal rejection.
I've been waiting to feel ready. Maybe that's the problem.
Readiness is a myth when it comes to confidence. You build readiness by acting before you feel it. And let me be honest with you, the first few times will still feel uncomfortable. There is no magic sentence that removes fear completely.
That's not very comforting.
It's honest, and honesty builds strength. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall many times. They don't think, I'm not ready to walk. They just try again. Somewhere along the way, as adults, we start protecting our pride more than our growth.
So I need to accept that I will fall.
Yes, but also accept that falling is part of moving forward. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. What are you really protecting when you stay silent?
My image. I don't want people to think I'm bad at English.
And what is more important, your image for 10 seconds or your ability to speak freely for the rest of your life?
When you say it like that, my image sounds very small.
It is small compared to your long-term freedom, but fear makes it feel big. That's why we're having this conversation, not to remove fear, but to shrink it to its real size.
I think I've been giving fear too much power.
Now let's focus on the language behind your fear. When you feel nervous, you usually say certain sentences in your head. These sentences shape your behavior. If we change the language, we start changing the fear. So Mike, when you don't want to speak, what do you usually tell yourself?
I tell myself I'm afraid of making mistakes. That sentence comes to my mind very fast.
Good. Let's break that down. I'm afraid of making mistakes. This is a common structure. I'm afraid of plus a verb with ing. For example, I'm afraid of speaking in public. I'm afraid of forgetting words. I'm afraid of sounding stupid. The structure is simple, but the meaning is powerful. When you say, I'm afraid of, you are admitting fear. That's honest. But we can also adjust it.
How can I adjust it?
Instead of saying, I'm afraid of making mistakes, you can say, I'm learning through mistakes. The situation is the same, but the meaning changes. One sentence makes you smaller. The other makes you active.
So it's not just grammar, it's mindset.
Yes, language influences how you see yourself. Let's look at another sentence. Many students say, what if I forget a word? This question creates anxiety. What if is useful in English, but it often introduces negative imagination. What if I fail? What if they laugh? What if I can't finish my sentence?
I use what if all the time.
Then let's transform it. Instead of what if I forget a word, you can say, if I forget a word, I will explain it another way. Do you hear the difference? The first sentence creates fear. The second creates a plan.
That feels stronger. It feels more practical.
Good. Now another common phrase is, I feel embarrassed. This is important. I feel plus an adjective. I feel nervous. I feel uncomfortable. I feel shy. These are normal feelings, but feelings are temporary. They are not your identity. You are not a nervous person. You are a person who feels nervous sometimes.
That's a big difference.
It is. Now let's talk about a powerful expression. Step out of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is where things feel safe and familiar. When you only speak in your head and never out loud, that is your comfort zone. When you raise your hand in class, that is stepping out of it.
And it doesn't feel comfortable at all.
Of course not. That's why it's called stepping out. Growth does not happen inside comfort. Another important sentence is, no one is judging me as much as I think. This one is hard to believe at first, but most people are focused on themselves.
I need to remember that.
Yes. Now I want to challenge not only you, but everyone listening. What is the biggest fear that stops you from speaking English freely? Write your answer in the comments section and be honest about it. When you put fear into words, it becomes clearer and weaker.
That's a strong question. I think many people will realize they're not alone.
Exactly. And that word alone matters. When you think you are the only one who feels afraid, the fear grows. When you realize thousands of learners feel the same, it becomes lighter.
So today we learned new ways to express fear and new ways to change the meaning behind it.
Yes, I'm afraid of can become I'm learning through. What if can become if this happens, I will. I feel embarrassed can become I feel embarrassed, but I will speak anyway. These small language shifts train your brain to act differently.
I can already see how the words I use affect my confidence.
Good, because speaking without fear starts with speaking differently to yourself.
I'm starting to understand that fear is not the enemy. The way I talk to myself is.
Now we're going to do something that makes many students uncomfortable. I'm going to put you in a real situation. No preparation, no writing. You will just speak. Imagine we are at a small international event. You meet someone new. They smile and say, "Hi, can you tell me a little about yourself?" Start speaking.
Okay. Hi, my name is Mike. I'm from this city. I've been learning English for 3 years. I like reading books and watching movies, and I want to improve my speaking.
Pause. First, breathe. You rushed through that. Why?
Because I didn't want to stop and think. I was afraid of silence.
Silence is not your enemy. Rushing creates more mistakes. Let's try again. This time, speak slower. If you need a second to think, take it. That second will not destroy you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Mike. I'm from this city. I've been learning English for 3 years. I like reading books and watching movies, and I want to improve my speaking.
That was stronger. Did you notice what changed?
I felt calmer. I allowed myself to pause.
Good. Now let's make it harder. The person asks, "Why are you learning English?" Don't give me a safe textbook answer. Be honest.
I'm learning English because I want better opportunities. I want to travel without feeling lost, and I don't want fear to control me anymore.
That last sentence was powerful. Say it again.
I don't want fear to control me anymore.
That sounds real. Now imagine the person says, "Your English is not perfect, but it's good." How do you respond?
Maybe I would feel offended, but I could say, "Thank you, I'm still improving."
Good response. You didn't defend yourself. You didn't apologize for existing. You accepted where you are. That shows confidence. Now let's push further. Imagine you forget a word in the middle of your sentence. What do you do?
Usually I panic.
Not this time. Show me what you would say.
Okay, I was trying to explain something, but I forgot the word. So I can say, I can't remember the word, but it's like when you feel very excited about something. And then maybe I explain it in simple words.
That's communication. Fluency is not knowing every word. Fluency is surviving when you don't. Most learners stop speaking when they forget one word. Confident speakers keep going.
I see the difference now. The mistake is not forgetting a word. The mistake is giving up.
Exactly. Now I'm going to interrupt you on purpose. Start talking about your favorite hobby.
I like reading because it helps me relax and learn new ideas. Sometimes I read novels, and sometimes I read about psychology or self-development.
Stop. You made a small grammar mistake earlier. You said, "I've been learning English since 3 years" in a previous conversation. What should it be?
It should be for 3 years.
Good. And did the correction destroy you?
No.
Did it make you weaker?
No, it helped me understand better.
That's how correction should feel. Not like an attack, like support. When you change how you see feedback, you stop fearing it.
I think I've been afraid of correction too. I thought correction means I'm bad.
Correction means you're improving. Silence means you stay the same. Now, one final challenge. Look at me and say one sentence that scares you.
I'm scared that people will think I'm not intelligent when I speak English.
And now say, "Even if they think that, I will keep speaking."
Even if they think that, I will keep speaking.
Say it again, stronger.
Even if they think that, I will keep speaking.
That is the mindset shift. Not waiting for approval, not waiting for perfection, just choosing to use your voice.
This feels uncomfortable but also empowering at the same time.
Let's sit with that discomfort for a moment. You said it feels uncomfortable and empowering at the same time. That combination is important. Growth often feels like that. It stretches you, it exposes you, and it forces you to see parts of yourself you usually avoid.
I think I avoid situations where I might look weak.
Most people do, but here's something bold. Looking weak for a short time is the price of becoming strong. When you speak a new language, you temporarily accept a lower version of yourself. Your vocabulary is smaller, your jokes are slower, your reactions are delayed. That can hurt your pride.
It does hurt my pride. I'm used to being confident in my native language.
And that's the emotional challenge. You are not just learning grammar, you are rebuilding your identity in another language. That takes courage. When you speak English, you might not sound as intelligent as you know you are, but that does not mean you are less intelligent. It only means you are in progress.
Sometimes I compare myself to people who speak fluently, and I feel behind.
Comparison is dangerous in language learning. You are comparing your middle to someone else's advanced stage. You don't see how many mistakes they made before becoming fluent. You only see the final result.
So I should stop comparing?
Notice it, but don't let it control you. Instead of asking, "Why am I not like them?" ask, "Am I braver than I was last month?" That is a better measurement. Progress is not about sounding perfect. It's about speaking when you would normally stay silent.
That changes the way I measure success.
Good, because many learners measure success by accent, speed, or grammar accuracy. But a stronger measurement is this: did I speak today even though I felt nervous? If the answer is yes, you are winning.
I never thought of it that way. I always thought success means no mistakes.
No mistakes mean no risk, and no risk means no growth. Let me tell you something uncomfortable. Some people will judge you. Some people will notice your mistakes. Some people may even correct you in an unfriendly way.
That's what I'm afraid of.
But here's the truth. Their reaction says more about them than about you. A confident person does not laugh at someone who is learning. A mature person respects effort. So if someone reacts badly, it is not proof that you should stop. It is proof that you are brave enough to try.
So the real power is continuing anyway.
Yes, speaking without fear does not mean you don't feel fear. It means fear is not making your decisions. You feel it, but you move forward. Think about all the opportunities you might miss if you keep waiting to feel ready. New friends, better jobs, travel experiences, deep conversations.
I don't want to miss those because of fear.
Then make a new rule for yourself. Discomfort is not a signal to stop. It is a signal that you are expanding. When your heart beats faster before speaking, tell yourself, "This is growth happening."
That feels like a strong mindset shift.
It is, and mindset is the foundation of fluency. Techniques help, vocabulary helps, practice helps. But if fear controls you, none of those tools will be used fully.
So I need to build courage the same way I build vocabulary, step by step.
Exactly. Small, brave actions every day. One question asked, one opinion shared, one conversation started. Over time, those small actions change how you see yourself. You stop saying, "I'm bad at speaking." You start saying, "I'm becoming a speaker."
I like that. I'm becoming a speaker.
Good. Now it's time to move from thinking to doing. I want everyone listening to participate. This is not passive. This is active. If you really want to speak without fear, you have to train your voice, not just your mind.
So we're going to practice out loud?
Yes, and I want you to actually say the sentences, not in your head, out loud, even if your voice feels small. Ready?
Ready.
Repeat after me. I may feel nervous, but I will speak anyway.
I may feel nervous, but I will speak anyway.
Again, slower. I may feel nervous, but I will speak anyway.
I may feel nervous, but I will speak anyway.
Good. Next sentence. Making mistakes means I am learning.
Making mistakes means I am learning.
One more time, stronger.
Making mistakes means I am learning.
Now this one. If I forget a word, I will explain it in another way.
If I forget a word, I will explain it in another way.
Good. Notice something. When you say these sentences out loud, your brain starts accepting them. Words repeated become beliefs.
It feels different when I actually say them.
Exactly. Now let's do a short speaking challenge. I will give you a prompt. You will answer in 2 or 3 sentences. Don't overthink, just speak.
Okay.
Describe your biggest goal with English.
My biggest goal with English is to speak confidently with anyone. I want to travel and communicate without fear. I also want to use English for better career opportunities.
Good. Now another one. Talk about a recent situation where you felt shy speaking English.
Recently, I was in an online meeting. I wanted to share my opinion, but I stayed quiet because I was afraid my sentence would not be clear. After the meeting, I regretted it.
That honesty is powerful. Now here's the key. After you describe that situation, add this sentence. Next time, I will speak even if my voice shakes.
Next time, I will speak even if my voice shakes.
Perfect. That is how you reprogram fear. You acknowledge it, then you choose action.
I can see how small daily practice like this can build courage.
Yes, you don't need a big stage. You need small repetitions. Talk to yourself in English for 2 minutes. Record your voice and listen without judging. Ask one extra question in class. These are simple actions, but they change your identity over time.
So practice is not just about grammar exercises.
No, practice is about using your voice, and the more you use it, the less power fear has.
I feel more ready to try now.
Before we finish, I want you to take one quiet second and think about who you are becoming. Not who you were when you stayed silent, not the version of you who avoided eye contact and hoped no one would ask a question. I'm talking about the version of you who decides to speak even when your hands feel cold and your heart beats faster.
That version feels stronger. Not perfect, but stronger.
That's all we need. Strength, not perfection. Let's remember what we discovered today. Fear is normal. It does not mean you are weak. It means you care. But caring should not turn into silence. Silence protects you for a moment, but it limits you for years.
I see that now. Every time I stayed quiet, I thought I was protecting myself, but I was also holding myself back.
Exactly. We also learned that the language you use in your mind matters. Instead of saying, I'm afraid of making mistakes, you can say, I'm learning through mistakes. Instead of asking, what if I forget a word, you can say, if I forget a word, I will explain it differently. These small changes build a stronger inner voice.
And we practiced speaking out loud, not just thinking about it.
Yes, because confidence grows through action, not through waiting. You don't wake up one day without fear. You wake up and decide that fear will not control your choices.
I think the biggest lesson for me is this. My voice deserves to be heard, even if it's not perfect.
That sentence right there is powerful. Your voice deserves space. Your ideas deserve expression. Your accent is not a weakness. It is proof that you speak more than one language. That is something to respect, not hide.
I never looked at it that way.
And now you can. From today, measure your progress differently. Ask yourself, did I speak today even though I felt uncomfortable? If the answer is yes, you are moving forward. If the answer is no, you have another chance tomorrow.
So speaking without fear is not about removing fear, it's about moving with it.
Exactly. Let fear walk beside you, but don't let it lead you. Lead yourself. One sentence at a time, one conversation at a time. Over weeks and months, those small, brave moments will build a new identity, not someone who studies English, someone who lives in it.
I'm ready to stop being silent and start being brave, even if my voice shakes.